Hey there, everyone. This is Sam coming to you live from the Friday after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, or if you're listening to this on the podcast afterward, I guess it's Monday. So happy Friday, or happy Monday, um, or happy whatever day it is you listen to this. Just gonna do a quick video today, not very long. I'm with family. If you could tell, my background is different than my usual one. This is the house I grew up in. We're hanging out. My wife and I are staying in my parents' room, so everyone's a little crazy at the holidays. I mean, in a good way. Just rearranging rooms and making arrangements with a 1 year old toddler and things like that. Um, so I wasn't gonna do like a big long post today or anything because I know I'm with family, and, busy spending time with loved ones. I'm sure some of you are too, which is great. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving and is enjoying this season. But I do have one little thing that I figured would be appropriate to share this time of year. This is a poem that I wrote that seems very appropriate, or is intentionally appropriate for the post Thanksgiving, pre Christmas holiday season. The poem mentions both of them, both holidays. So let me just give you some context, and I'll read you this little poem and let you go. I wrote this about 8 years ago in grad school when as my first semester of grad school, first semester that I had moved out of my parents' house, other than the dorms, and I was actually in an apartment and living on my own with two other guys, and I was struggling a little bit with adulting and managing all that stress of grad school, teaching, working. I was a teaching assistant. So I was doing my own studies and teaching, and living on my own, paying rent and stuff like that, and kind of struggling with all that stress and struggling to enjoy the holidays or really take a mental break from work to enjoy the holidays at that time. So I kind of wrote this poem when I was thinking of that, and it's funny to me now because I mentioned it was 8 years ago. My youngest brother is 8 years younger than me, so he is now the age I was then. So I'm sure I thought at that time that I was a big adult and my life was stressful, but now 8 years later, I'm like, well, now I'm a more adulty adult. I'm married, have a kid, and have a full time real job and all that stuff, which is great. So it's funny to me looking back to see how my first foray into adulting, how I handled that. But now I look back on myself then, and I'm like, I wasn't that much of an adult and all that stuff. But this is just me processing, my feelings at that time, and just how the holiday season can look to some of us. So it's still fun for me to look back on. I still think it's fun to look back on the things I was thinking then. This is an obvious parody. This poem I'm about to read you. You'll get that when you start hearing it. So I'm not like trying to publish it or anything like that, other than just reading it or posting it on social media sometimes. It's an obvious parody, so don't sue me or anything. It's just a fun poem that I thought of, and the cultural references might be a little dated for 2013, but that's okay. I think people still get them. Anyway, I told you I wouldn't hold you long, so that's enough intro. Without further ado, here is my wonderful epic poem called How the Scrinch Spent Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you are enjoying this season too. So here we go. How the Scrinch Spent Thanksgiving. Every student at Louisville thought Christmas the best, but the Scrinch, who lived away from campus, cared less. When the holidays came round, he'd rather just doze. Now please don't ask why, because no one quite knows. Some say that maybe his tie was too tight, or maybe he'd stayed up with schoolwork all night. But I think a more likely reason than these was all his grown-up responsibilities. He didn't hate Christmas, but just was quite busy with homework and papers that made him feel dizzy. He didn't make holiday plans to be kept. He just worked and worked, and sometimes he slept. The Scrinch, after all, was no longer a child. Holiday hopes didn't make him go wild. He was an adult now, with work, school, and rent, and important concerns where his time must be spent. He was looking forward to his Thanksgiving break, but it wasn't for turkey or merriment's sake. He'd rather just rest from this busy school year than go around spreading much holiday cheer. When his friends were all eager for Christmas to come, the Scrinch would just shrug and reply with, "Bah hum! No, I won't join you in a Christmas song. If it's not yet Thanksgiving, then that music's just wrong." Besides, I can't think about holidays yet. I've got essays to write and good grades to get. And then next week, when all of the schoolwork is done, I want nothing but sleep and relaxing and fun. So the week of break came, and the Scrinch got his wish, and soon he fell into a comfortable niche of staying up late, but then sleeping till 10, and doing it over and over again. And when he would arise from the bed where he lay, he watched shows or read comics for most of the day. He lazily wandered his dwelling for hours, and in late afternoon he would sometimes take showers. But while the old Scrinch, this creature quite scary, stayed alone in his townhouse just off of Ward's Ferry, his friends and his family and loved ones did seek to know of his plans the rest of the week. "Won't you come home soon?" asked the Scrinch's mother, "to spend time with me and your dad and your brother? You could always come by for a dinner or two, and plus we'll be watching the new Doctor Who." But the Scrinch was unmoved by traditions so common, so he stayed and ate more frozen pizza and ramen. "I don't care about warm tidings of making glad. I just want to stay home and binge watch Breaking Bad." And that's just what he did for a couple of days, indulging in his lazy bachelor ways, until finally, on the eve of Thanksgiving, he went to the house where his family was living, and they had a nice chat and they played a fun game, and the Scrinch started feeling not fully the same, especially when one other person was seen. It was little Jay Scrinch, who was barely 15. Their mother said, "Hey, would it not be great for the two of your brothers to hang out till late?" The Scrinch said, "Yes, let's go to my townhouse quite near. I'll take him back there, then I'll bring him back here." So the Scrinch's young brother slept over that eve, and they had Netflix and popcorn until time to leave and go back to their family for Thanksgiving dinner, which was sure to make everyone not a lot thinner. Oh, the Scrinch tried to maintain his cold manner and work on a paper about advanced grammar. But this was a task that concerned him the least, once it was time for the Thanksgiving feast. So they ate lots of turkey and stuffing and rolls, and the potatoes and vegetables went round in bowls. And they had some friends over, and some people still say that the Scrinch's stomach grew 3 sizes that day. Then the Scrinch thought and thought, and he started to wonder if maybe he'd made a ridiculous blunder. Of all that he'd used his Thanksgiving break for, maybe the best thing was something still more. He said, "Maybe Thanksgiving is greater than just a week off from doing the work that I must. Maybe instead of homework and TV, there's also fellowship, food, friends, and family." And so the Scrinch realized, in time for this Christmas, that no man is an island, just maybe an isthmus. And when it came round to the end of November, he put Christmas songs on for the 1st of December. And then his break ended and he went back to school, but this time the Scrinch didn't act like a fool, because now he had a very different reason to look forward to the upcoming holiday season. The end. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for being here. Happy Thanksgiving, post Thanksgiving, and Merry Christmas. I can say that now. I am one of those no Christmas till after Thanksgiving people, but I can say it now. So happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and all that stuff to you. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your family, and I'll see you next time. Bye.